And hello, everybody, and welcome to the Fearless Floyd Show. As always, I am your host, Fearless Floyd, and today is Saturday, April 27th, 2024. It's about 11 a.m. Central Standard Time. Breaking news, another sovereign citizen. This time he kills a couple deputies in Florida. All right, sharing over here. This is a 19-minute video, so let's go.
Park shortly after midnight, if you are familiar with the area. Judd said a man in the vehicle who has not been identified but did not cooperate with the deputy asked him to get out of the car. The deputy called for backup, and when Lieutenant Chad Anderson and Deputy Craig Smith arrived, the man opened fire, according to Judd. Anderson is in critical but stable condition, and Smith is listed as stable. Judge said other deputies who responded to the scene opened fire, killing that gunman. He said the suspect was a sovereign citizen, which means he believed the laws did not apply to him. Now, Brady Judd holding a news conference that wrapped a short time ago, the sheriff there and other local officials. I do want to play that for you, raw and unfiltered.
Good morning, everyone. Thank you for being with me this morning. I also have with us Brian Haas, our state attorney, and I'm eternally grateful that you came out and spent all night here with us. Let me tell you what happened. It started about 12:22 this morning, Saturday morning. We've had burglaries of vehicles where people haven't locked their doors and people are flipping handles. We also recently had some burglaries at a concession stand at the Hunt Fountain Park off Duff Road in North Lakeland, which is where we are. So we had deputies assigned to the area as a hot spot. And Deputy Conover did exactly what she was supposed to be doing, checking out suspicious vehicles. The county park closes at 10 p.m. and she noticed a white vehicle here and pulled up behind it. As she approached the vehicle, she saw that there was a male in the car and he rolled the window down a small amount. And she was trying to talk to him and ask him why he was in the park, and he wouldn't cooperate. She asked him to get out of the car, and he wouldn't get out of the car. Now, understand at this point, he's resisting a law enforcement officer in the performance of their duty. He's also violating a county ordinance. She retreats to her vehicle and she asks for additional backup because he is resisting her. At that time, among other deputies, Lieutenant Chad Anderson arrives and Deputy Sheriff Craig Smith. There are a total of 4 deputies and 2 trainees, which are going through orientation and beginning the process to be full deputies next Monday that was working tonight. So they once again told him to get out of the vehicle. Little did they realize at that moment in time that this was a sovereign citizen. He was Moorish. And Moorish sovereign citizens are known to believe that federal law, state law, local law does not apply to them. They are known to resist law enforcement. And there is a history where they shoot police officers. So they started trying to take our suspect out of the vehicle when he produced a gun and started shooting. Lieutenant Chad Anderson was shot once in the arm and it went through and into his chest. Our Deputy Craig Smith has 4 gunshot wounds. They went down immediately. Lieutenant Anderson got some rounds off. The backup deputies shot a lot. and we don't know how much yet. We're in the initial stages of crime scene investigations, and we can report that to you later. But we killed the suspect. We killed him graveyard dead. And we killed him dead in a gunfight, a firefight with our deputies who had no idea they were dealing with anyone other than someone being in the park after the park closed, being suspicious, and resisting our efforts to identify why they were in the area. Lieutenant Chad Anderson underwent emergency surgery, and he's in critical but stable condition in intensive care. Craig Smith currently is stable and in the intensive care unit, and we have deputies assigned to them. All of this information is initial, and as you know, I release the information that we know, and it's subject to modification or change or addition later on, and that certainly will be the case now as the investigation goes on. We're not identifying the suspect at this moment because we're searching for next of kin. He appears to be living out of his vehicle. We see where another law enforcement agency had an interaction with him in another county park approximately a month ago. That's under investigation as well. We'll release information later today. But as a result of the gunfight, as a result of the suspect shooting at our deputies, striking two of our deputies, creating critical injuries, we shot and killed him. He chose that outcome, and we obliged him. I want to turn this over, and then we'll answer the questions after our state attorney, Mr. Haas, talks to you.
Thank you, Sheriff. I'd just like to start out by saying this morning, this is another example of an incident that shows how dangerous the job of a law enforcement officer is. What would seem to be a routine interaction with a person turns into a very scary and dangerous situation, potentially deadly. So I think it's important that all of us remember that when we're thinking of our law enforcement officers. I'm out here because of my deep concern for the deputies that were injured, and also to support law enforcement and our sheriff. I'm also out here because the way we handle officer-involved shootings here in this circuit is we have a task force in place, and there will be multiple investigations that will occur. But under my task force, we have highly trained detectives from throughout our circuit, Highlands County, Hardy County, Polk County, the many agencies, and they're going to review everything that happened, get all the details, and present a report to me for my review at the conclusion. The goal of this is to give the public a very transparent, thorough investigation, so everyone knows what happened and how it happened. And we're working on it now, and we want to move as quickly as we can, but being thorough is the most important thing. So we just wish the best for the deputies that are injured, and we'll have the report as soon as possible to the public. Thank you.
Once again, I want you to see what two heroes look like. Two that were shot in the line of duty while they were standing in the gap between good and evil, while they were protecting the people of Polk County, while they slept peacefully in their home in this very neighborhood. I ask that you keep them and their families in your prayers. They have significant injuries to overcome, and the road to recovery is not going to be easy from these significant injuries. But they're strong, they're great men, and the other deputies are not injured physically, but emotionally. Obviously, they're shook up because they were in the middle of a gunfight with a very dangerous sovereign citizen just last night. Any questions?
Sure. In terms of the way the 4 deputies responded here on scene. As best you can tell, any of these deputies.
No, these deputies responded according, I've listened to the radio traffic. And the first deputy, when she met resistance, she only had a trainee with her. And you don't want to get into a conflict situation if you can avoid it by yourself. She called for assistance. Other deputies responded. Supervision responded in an effort to resolve the event peacefully. And quite frankly, when we started trying to take him out of the vehicle started moving. He was leaving. And that's when the shots rang out. That's when our folks were immediately shot down. And that's what happened. Craig Smith and Chad Anderson were standing at the door close together, and they were immediately shot and went down. We know that Chad Anderson got off some rounds. We don't believe that Deputy Smith did because he was shot all through the right arm. He had 4 gunshot wounds in his right arm. And the backup deputies, which were there, we never expected conflict. We thought, once again, it's not uncommon for people just to resist. And we thought, well, we'll have to pull them out of the car, put them in handcuffs, and ultimately take them to jail. And then in that instance, the blink of the eye, they're in a gunfight for their lives.
The term sovereign citizen, there's a risk that some of the public can hear that, in my opinion, will hear that and think it sounds sort of frontierish, and there's some potential to glorify the person that goes by that kind of term. You just describe this person's behavior tonight and how we do live in society of laws. We can't just go around and say that's not me.
Certainly, all the indications we see is a sovereign citizen identifying with the Moorish philosophy, which simply means they resist government, they don't believe in government, they don't think the laws apply to them, and they can do what they want, when they want. And that's what we see here tonight that occurred. We still have a lot of work to do in this instance, but they're known to be violent and to shoot police officers. Now, there's a lot of Moorish sovereign citizens that aren't violent. They're peaceful in the sense, but they file lawsuits and papers against government officials, but being physically violent, they're not. But there's a percentage of them, and we ran into one last night that was very violent. Now, we make arrests frequently on sovereign citizens. We never publish the fact that we've made an arrest on a sovereign citizen because we don't want to market for them. But when they try to shoot and kill my deputies, it's important to understand who we're dealing with here, and it's important for the community to understand who we're dealing with. And we see every indication from his dress last night to his ideology to that it all is 100% four square into this sovereign citizen ideology. And he was dangerous, and he proved to be dangerous last night. The only possible clue that they could have had, it's not uncommon when you stop people who want to resist, they roll the window down a small amount and talk to you through the window, but won't roll their window down and communicate. And he resisted every effort last night. So at the end of the day, we have a picture of the firearm that he shot the deputies with. I've asked them to bring that out. This is a Springfield 9mm XD. And this is the firearm he used to shoot my deputies last night. So he asked for a gunfight. We gave him a gunfight. And he'll never be in another gunfight again because he's dead, like he asked for. And we oblige.
Wow.
The trainees, simply put, once they finish the academy, they take the state exam. They go on the payroll. And then they ride with the deputies in a non-training position until hire date. The official hire date's next Monday. But this week, because they finished the academy, they had finished their state exams, they were simply riding along. So the two of them were involved in an event last night, like they may never be involved in again if they spend, and we pray that they're not, a 30-year career doing this. But let me underscore what our state attorney said. This job is not dangerous until it's dangerous, and then it's dangerous like that. And we never know when that second's going to be. For example, Lieutenant Anderson, which was a former SWAT member, has been with us almost 26 years and has never been in this kind of a shootout before. Chad Anderson. Craig Smith has been with us 11 years, almost 12 years, 11 years, 10 months. And it went from an interaction that at most, being in a park after 10 o'clock at night might have gotten you a warning or a civil notice. And I asked to move along because we've had problems in the area, and for you to sleep here tonight would put you at risk. So they were here not only checking out the suspiciousness of him, but they were trying to protect him in the event some of the burglars that we have been chasing around here in this area could have approached him. And he escalated it into a gunfight. And we gave him a gunfight.
Smith was 4 gunshot wounds. Do you know where?
And it was right on.
Then Anderson was shot in the arm that went through his chest. And went through surgery. He's critical but stable.
Yes. Okay.
I always got one.
Yes.
I assume that this sovereign citizen.
I'm going to have to fix my thumbnail because I thought it said they killed him, but shot 2 of them. So I'll fix that.
Is not the suspect.
No, he was not.
Yeah.
This sovereign citizen was not a suspect in the burglaries. And what happens? Usually, these folks are teenagers flipping door handles, looking for credit cards, cash, and guns. We've arrested several in this North Lakeland area. We arrested one for breaking into the concession stand here, but we had extra patrols in this area because people don't lock their car doors, and as a result, we have these car flippers. When we saw this suspicious vehicle, we thought, well, is this one of our burglars? It's evident it wasn't. And at that particular time, the most this guy, he had no outstanding warrants. The most that would have happened to him is a citation for being in the park after closing hours. But with him not being a suspect in these burglaries, they probably would have just told him to move along.
Are there other of these sovereign citizens around this area?
There's sovereign citizens in every county in this nation.
And is this particular one known to you guys?
No. We don't think he's even from the Polk County area. And we're still running that down right now. Okay. Thank y'all very much. Have a good day.
I'm with Anderson.
All right, that was Polk County, Florida Sheriff Grady Judd, who was speaking at a news conference a short time ago, obviously fairly lengthy as he was answering questions from members of the media who have a lot of questions there. We do know that 2 Polk County deputies were seriously injured here early this morning in what is being described as a shootout with a, quote, sovereign citizen. Grady Judd saying that a man in a vehicle who hasn't officially been identified did not cooperate with the deputy who had asked him to get out of the car. The deputy called for backup when Lieutenant Chad Anderson and Deputy Craig Smith arrived. That man opened fire, Judd says. Anderson is listed in critical but stable condition. Smith, on the other hand, is considered stable.
There you go, folks. I don't have my lights on. I wanted to do this. Like I said, I'll be in Galveston today, rigging for some show. I'll be there all day and evening. But anyway, I want to make you aware of this, that this is what's going on in the country. This is why I made my video last night about public grand juries. As long as you folks stay behind the scenes, in the shadows, creating these chapters and assemblies and jural assemblies, you see what the association is. Okay, I've already showed you multiple times, what the relationship is. This is the policeone.com's website. American State Nationals, the newest group of sovereign citizens. There it is, folks. So if you're calling yourself an American State National, and look, don't get messed up on semantics, because if they hear state national, they're going to automatically register American State National is the new sovereign citizen. That's just how people's minds work. They're going to hear that, dang, those dog whistle words, and you need to get their attention. And this article right here breaks it down, everything, just like Sheriff Grady Judd was talking about, that rolling down the window a couple inches. It's all in here, right here in this article. So if you're still playing around with David Lester Straight and Anna Von Reitz in the American State Nationals, and if you see that iconology or that verbiage anywhere, run, turn around, go away, leave it alone. Do not participate in that. We have an epidemic going across the country right now where we have sovereign citizens getting in gunfights again with law enforcement. The sovereign citizen movement is mainly whites and blacks. Okay, they're melanated, but for layman's terms, blacks. Okay, we have all this illegal immigration going on right now with people coming in from all over the world. So now what you're doing is you're putting yourself in that same category as a Caucasian male or female and a African, black, whatever, male or female, that it is a threat. Because now, are you a sovereign citizen? Because you're American, but, I know the illegal immigrants. This is a problem, folks. So don't associate yourself with this stuff. All these behind the scenes jural assemblies, common grand juries, man, y'all, we need to come out on Front Street. We need to get out on Main Street. We need to go down to City Hall, City Square, County Square, whatever you want to call it, and make our voices heard. I'm not going against law enforcement. I am nowhere even. Defund the police would never come out of my mouth, ever. I'm not for defunding the police. We have to have police. We have to have law enforcement. There's too many idiots out there running around that, they don't have your interests at heart. They just want to come up. They're surviving, and they're going to do whatever it takes. So if you're out there running around as American State National, you got American State National plates on your car, you better remove them. You better take them off before you get executed on the side of the road. Y'all think I'm playing. Y'all think they're playing. This is going to spread like wildfire. We just had one here in Harris County. Boom. A week later, we have another one in Florida. Coast to coast, literally. It's an epidemic. It has to stop. You dumb idiots out there running around thinking that nothing applies to you and you're going to get in a gunfight with law enforcement. And then they're going to label you whether or not you are a sovereign citizen, or you're an American State National, or you're a state national, or you're whatever. This is what they're going to do. They're going to label you. They're going to see all the red flags, and they're going to categorize you and put you in a label. Sovereign citizen.